Hello, you're watching the news here at CNN News 18. Here on the show, we're going to bring you all of the country's top stories. Over the last 2 hours, we've been focusing right here on the channel on the largest ever crackdown the Popular Front of India has seen. Right now, as we speak, raids are taking place in multiple states. More than 100 top leadership of the PFI have already been arrested or detained. Now, we're going to some breaking news as we speak. This is news that we're receiving from our sources that the government could possibly very soon ban the Popular Front of India. Top government sources are saying that a ban can't entirely be ruled out. Top leadership is arrested in 2 cases. These are UAPA cases. There are serious allegations in particular against the PFI. They are mobilizing funds. These are the allegations that are made against them, that they're mobilizing funds in the name of religious activities and creating tension among 2 communities. Now, government sources are saying that as we speak, they are analyzing the situation. My colleague Anand Narasimhan has been bringing us updates moment to moment on the story. Let's go over to him for more coverage here. Anand?
Morning to our viewers, and this is the natural progression that there have been clarion calls across the country by various outfits, individuals, entities who have said in the larger interest of society this organization needs to be banned. But what are the grounds for them being banned? Is there enough? And for the last 18 months, a dossier has been being prepared, a comprehensive dossier, which proves the involvement in subversive activities by the top leadership of the PFI. It is an open secret that the leadership and the founding members of the PFI are all erstwhile members of SIMI. Some of the arrests of PFI leaders that have been made in Bihar and some of the other regions across the country, their affiliations to SIMI have also surfaced. But now the government is saying that the possibility of a ban cannot be ruled out because the top leadership has been booked under 2 separate cases under UAPA. Now, UAPA by default becomes non-bailable. The other aspect is that these are serious charges. That is interest, unlawful activities, and that is against the interest of the country. And if there is enough proof, this PFI leadership will not be charged with UAPA unless there is proof that will stand the test of legal scrutiny. I've been repeatedly saying that the PFI has not only embedded itself across system, it has the wherewithal and the resources to employ a battery of top lawyers to try and punch into the loopholes that our legal system has and our laws have, to try and create an escape route for these PFI leaders. Time and again, we have seen the PFI employ top-level lawyers and pay them huge amounts of fees and pay their way out in terms of bulldozing themselves into the legal system and use the law itself to their advantage. Now, so the burden of proof lies on prosecution, and that's why the government and its agencies have taken their time. Like I said, it's a process that's been happening over the last 18 months, if not more. It's come to a culmination now today with this massive pan-India crackdown. If the top leaders have to be arrested inside from their den in North Kerala, then that means the government has enough and more to nail them. And that's why once the charges are made, once the court upholds their remand and custody, then the next step would be progressively for them to be banned nationally. But will other states echo the same sentiment and then join in the chorus and say we back the ban? That's something which we have to wait and watch. The grounds of the ban we'll have to wait and watch. But it is perhaps the next step or a foregone conclusion that sooner than later the organization will be banned.
Anand, could you just, over the next hour, we're going to be connecting with our reporters on the ground to bring our audiences more updates on the story. But could you just lay the groundwork for our audiences? As you were saying, SIMI was banned in the early 2000s, the Student Islamic Movement of India. It's from that you had PFI that was born. It was a combination of 3 different southern Muslim organizations in the early 2000s, 2007, I believe. But could you quickly give us a summary so we can then walk to our reporters to understand more?
See, the Indian Mujahideen, SIMI, these are all outfits that were banned. But you banned the organization, but you could not crack down on its leaders individually. So these leaders very quietly went underground. They were quiet. Then they have evolved. They formed, like you said, multiple organizations across 6 or 7 states. These organizations had presence in Karnataka, in erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, now Andhra and Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and of course Karnataka. And they all came together to form PFI in 2007. 2009 in Kerala itself, there was under the matters of love jihad or conversion racket, and forced conversions at the time when there were huge allegations that they were actually radicalizing impressionable youth, men and women from other communities, the Christian community, the Hindu community there, and sending them to fight for the Daesh in Syria. So there have been a huge number of people who had quietly gone all the way to fight for the Daesh, radicalized, and the role and involvement of members of the PFI had been under scrutiny with the Kerala government under V.S. Achyutanandan themselves, making a very, very strong representation in court. This entire coinage of love jihad came from the Kerala courts itself, and it was on some of the cases. But we saw what happened, that more than 1,000 cases got buried when one case of Hadia was won by the PFI with its leader, one of their leaders who belonged to the political outfit SDPI, him getting backed in court. We know that top lawyers of the country were paid nearly ₹1 crore plus, and this is all out in public domain by the PFI itself to try and win this one case. So what the PFI has done over the years is they have understood the system. They have realized how to work the system. Even the current hijab petition in the Supreme Court is on behalf of the Campus Front of India, and the money that is coming from is the Campus Front of India and the PFI. In 2014, 2015, the PFI website proudly proclaimed all these outfits and organizations as part of its various branches, and the PFI was the one big tree. But now, of late, the Campus Front of India very smartly has tried to de-link itself from PFI, saying that we are an independent organization. So their strategy has also evolved. The same group in the Karnataka High Court insisted that hijab is an essential religious practice. But now in the Supreme Court, they have tweaked their argument to say, consider it as a part of an important practice in Islam, but not an essential religious practice. So see how they are playing and they are evolving. That's what the PFI learned to do. They evolved in such a way that if the Simi and Indian Mujahideen were involved in terrorist activities, where they were creating instances of terror with IEDs and explosives, the PFI evolved itself to start creating social unrest and to try and manifest as individual groups who were suddenly sprouting at various parts of the country and trying to make it look spontaneous. But actually what they did is they just evolved and they formed a hybrid mechanism to create social divide, social strife and social unrest. What has been cracked down in Bihar is startling, that at least 10 to 13 districts on the entire Simanchal region, the PFI is embedded and it's got its headquarters in Bihar, where now what is under allegation and the investigating agencies are alleging is that they were actually actively helping illegals to come back and settle themselves in these regions, convert help in changing the demographic nature of that entire region with the help of Bangladeshis and Rohingyas, and get their support to try and create enough muscle for the PFI to become a very strong political entity there.